the pride of Limerick, a young man named Sean Sheehan.
The MMA media, Don, Graham McDonald.
The SevereMMA people that are coming to the local shows way before everyone else. I see them coming up and they're getting their shot, and I'm proud that people are coming up with me.
Welcome everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This is a special UFC 207 edition of the SevereMMA podcast. My name is Sean Sheehan, and as always, I'm here with Graham McDonald from SevereMMA. Graham, how are things?
Very good, very good. Can't complain. I had a nice bit of booze and food over the last few days.
Did you bring anything nice?
No, we actually didn't. We don't really buy each other. I was kind of saying last week, we don't really buy each other presents because we're Scrooges.
Bastards. He bought me 6 bottles of Lynx anyway, which I'm delighted with because that'll do me until next year probably. So, why is Lynx a thing you hate buying? Maybe it's just me. I'd rather get it as a present than buy it.
I actually got a load of my cousin was giving out doing promos for Lynx like years ago, and he gave like a big bag of small Lynx cans. I still have them, like hundreds of them, nearly like 50 of them, something like that. That'd
be my dream. That'd be my dream. And before we get into the MMA talk, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, ROSnutrition.com. Head on over, ROSnutrition.com. The new year starting, people want to get into shape. ROS Nutrition are Ireland's leading supplement providers. They have all that good stuff like proteins and amino acids, stuff for sports performance, strength and conditioning, creatine products for fat loss, essential oils, joint health. They have female nutrition, all that good stuff. You can get 25% off your first order at ROSnutrition.com by using the promo code SevereMMA. I see they have loads of great offers there at the moment, so like this would be a very good time to save coming into the new year. As I said, promo code SevereMMA, 25% off your first order, ROSnutrition.com. Boom. Right. Let's get into the MMA. We won't keep you too long this week, lads. We're having a kind of a shortened podcast, and we'll be back as well. I'm not sure if we'll have a full one next week or a shortened one again, but we'll be back with you again next week. But keep an eye on Twitter. You can follow me at Shanchi and BA. You can follow Graham at SevereMMA. Right, let's get into the MMA talk. So, and I suppose the reason we're here, big card this weekend, UFC 207. Amanda Nunes defending her UFC bantamweight title against Ronda Rousey on a pretty good UFC 207 card. I suppose the big story coming into it is Ronda Rousey not speaking to the media and not, there's barely there's a couple of pictures for her online. Wasn't in the first embedded, was in the last embedded, just because she has promotional pictures that she has to take. Hasn't really been doing anything. What are your thoughts on that? I know a lot of people have given their opinion. I've given my opinion online. What do you think about
it? Yeah, not talking to the MMA media. I think most of the MMA media is not worth talking to. But I think the people that she, Lazy the Savage or Ariel, people who have like helped her in the past before she was a huge star, and that kind of MMA media she should still be loyal to, or it'd be nice if she was loyal to them anyway. But she doesn't know anything to do the rest of them, to be honest. A lot of them would be a waste of time, same questions, and if you're not getting paid to promote, like, I can see the reasoning, and if she, the only problem I can really see with it is she's WME owned the company now. She's getting this special treatment. I'd say Conor McGregor's going to want this treatment. I'd say other people are going to want this treatment.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree with you as well that most of the media aren't worth talking to, and a lot of these. A lot of these scrums and stuff, they're just bullshit. Like, even for us,
just the same questions over and over and over.
Well, there's no point. But I agree. Like, she should have been on the MMA hour this week, or as you said, talk to Lazy the Savage, or there's lots of good shows out there. That she could have been on. Luke Thomas has a good show. There's lots of people, but. The way you said it there about the WME, IMG, and McGregor and things, McGregor wouldn't want to do that. I don't think he wouldn't want to black himself out. He has his website where he puts up the videos and stuff. He does the media on the day and stuff. I'm sure he doesn't like doing it, but he realizes that you have to do it. Like he loves those. Remember the press conference where Nate Diaz walked out? He was going insane. He's like, "Get back, come on, get back, so we could talk." He wanted to promote the fight. Now, obviously, that ended up promoting the fight better. But
that's kind of different, though. The way it's like it's a press conference. He knows he's going to have back and forth with Nate. It's not going to be the same thing as it was the last 17 interviews that he's just done.
Yeah, but Rousey's not going to press conference either, like, and stuff.
Yeah, that's a strange one, to be honest. Like, I think the UFC, I thought the UFC would have, after the fuss they kicked up about Conor not wanting to attend a press conference, that they'd make Ronda come to press conferences, come to stuff like that. But to make her talk to MMA media, I don't really see the outrage. Even although, as I say, like, it'd be nice for her to talk to people like Ariel, and maybe she has talked to Lazy or done contact with Lazy or whatever. But people who helped her before she was big, I think, are the only people that should be.
Yeah, look, for me, I think the biggest thing about it is it's benefiting her more to talk to people than it is the people she's talking to. Like, you know, she wants to sell that card. She wants people to tune in so people will watch. Now, I said that online, and someone was saying, "Oh no, it's not helping anyone. It's helping her. It's helping her because she gets to train better and she doesn't get the distractions." I was like, okay, yeah, but Amanda Nunes is not having to do the media either. Like, she did like a scrum for 5 minutes. I saw her do that. She's done nothing else. She's not gone to the press conference. You know, she almost has nothing. It's almost a weight off Amanda Nunes' shoulders. And, you know, it's fine. I'm sure if, you know, she has so much power and McGregor has so much power that if, obviously she's done it, but if McGregor wanted to do it in the future, I think he could negotiate that he didn't have to do any media or whatever. But as I said, I don't think he wanted to do that. You know, this is how you get your money. Like, you get your money because people know you're fighting. Because you know, something happens, you do an interview and it's on, you know, it's on TMZ or ESPN or Ariel's go viral or something like that. You know,
I think she's probably looking at it though, like, okay, I've got enough money. Well, not enough money. She always wants to make more money, but she's got money. She wants to make sure she wins. Kind of like with Conor and the Tekken Diaz fight. He's like, I'm just putting myself away, not talking to anybody, or he tried to anyway, and just I'm just going to concentrate on making sure I win this fight, no distraction. Like, and then I can worry about. But this is a must win. You can't lose 2 in a row after the big break. She knows that. Well, you can obviously, but it's going to affect your star power. You're going to take a lot of criticism again, which she didn't take well the first time. So she's probably more wary of that than she is of not selling them extra few 100,000 pay-per-views. She probably just isn't worried about that for this fight.
Yeah, look, I think on the last week, on this week, she's going to be there in Las Vegas anyway. What difference is 15 minutes of a press conference going to make? What difference is, 15 minutes of a scrum going to make? Go to an open workout for a half an hour. Like, I can't see that making any big difference. You know, that's not going to be the difference between her winning and losing a fight, I don't think. But
yeah, maybe she's in a place mentally where she doesn't want all the stuff brought up from she hasn't really had, like, the media haven't really had MMA media haven't had really a chance to talk to her about the last fight. So she knows that that's coming, and she's just like, I don't need this in the lead up. I just want to concentrate on. I know it's kind of it seems like her against the world kind of thing in her head. Like, I think she was kind of like that all along, but she's even more like that now after she lost, because she hasn't lost in a long time. Like,
yeah, I think the thing as well about Rousey is, okay, I'm not a big one for buying into mental games and stuff, you know, between two people, but I think it's hugely important to be mentally well in yourself, you know, to be confident coming in. And that's not usually a thing in MMA that's a big factor, because kind of to be an MMA fighter or to, you know, to get to the top,
you have to be delusional.
You have to be delusional. You know, you have to know you're the best in the world, kind of, even if you're not. And even guys,
even when you're not, if you want to become the best, you got to believe you're the best when you're not, I think.
Yeah, and like, even I know guys, like, there's fucking, you know, 4-4, and they think they're the best fighter in the world. Like, and it's kind of just the way MMA is, so it's unusual. And I'm not saying Rousey, you know, isn't like that, but I think there's a question mark over it now. This hiding yourself away for a year, and, you know, people barely seeing you. How much training has she done? Like, she looks in good shape, but, you know, what improvements has she made to her boxing? Has she changed up her entries to get takedowns? You know, is she going to come out a different fighter, or is she just what? You know, I think that's the most intriguing thing coming into this fight, and I think for Amanda Nunes as well, it's huge.
See, I don't think Ronda's going to come in a new fighter. I don't think she's going to have way improved boxing or double legs or single legs or anything like that. I think Edmund probably taking her as far as he can take her. It's harsh. Like, everybody's always on Edmund's back, but if you just look at the fighters that have went to him from being at other camps beforehand, like Travis Brown, it just hasn't gone well. And just all that family stuff going on with her mum coming out against Edmund, like, repeatedly, and saying he's a horrible person, he's a horrible coach, he's just ragging on him, just terrible stuff. Like, you don't want that going on. when you're trying to win fights. Like it's just an unnecessary distraction. So I think it just for everything, not even the training, just for everything, the bad atmosphere around it. Her mother, she needs to move on to progress properly. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting any kind of massively improved boxing or her shooting doubles or singles here. I think it's going to be the same old Ronda Rousey, but the question mark is just over her mentality now.
Right. So let's look at the actual fight itself. I agree that it's going to be the same all Ronda Rousey that we know, that we've seen all the time, and we know the strengths of Amanda Nunes. She's good on her feet, good counter puncher, good at attacking. Hits very hard, good takedown defense, good takedowns, good jiu-jitsu. She's an all-around. I've said it before. I think she's the most talented female fighter at 135 pounds in the UFC at the moment. But as I wrote in my preview that came out there yesterday, I think Ronda Rousey is the best athlete, and that's a huge thing when it comes to MMA, and not just when it comes to MMA, but when it comes to the game Ronda Rousey plays, because we know what she's going to do. If she if she doesn't come out a brand new fighter with a crisp jab and good combination stuff, we know what she's going to do. She's going to come out, she's going to try to close the distance, she's going to try to hip toss Amanda Nunes and put her down. And look, she can do that. There's no doubt about it. She can do that. But can Amanda Nunes stop that? I think is the biggest question, because we saw that Holly Holm could stop it, but there's a lot more people, that couldn't stop it. And I wrote Mark as well. Like, Ronda Rousey is an unorthodox fighter in that way. Like, most fighters will use their boxing to set up their takedowns, or they'll go for a double leg or a single leg or push you against the fence. But this kind of judo-based takedown game is unusual in MMA. Like, she showed in that home fight, that's all really she has. She doesn't have takedowns from anywhere else unless it's a big scramble. So that leads to the question, can Amanda Nunes defend in an unorthodox way against the unorthodox Rousey, like Holly Holm did? I think I'm not sure if it was Greg Jackson or someone did a technique talk where they said, they showed how Ronda Rousey got her hand, or Holly Holm got her hand on the hip of Ronda Rousey, got inside, didn't defend, as you'd normally do around the waist or around the shoulders. She got inside so Ronda couldn't hip throw her, and I think that was huge, and that very well worked out. Holly Holm did. So, can Amanda Nunes do that? I think that's a big thing that we'll find out. How do you see it playing out? Do you think Amanda Nunes can stop the onslaught, and do you think she can beat her on the feet if she does?
Yeah, I think she can beat her on the feet if she does, but I don't know if she can. If Ronda didn't really seem to have any kind of a good game plan in the last fight, it'd be important for her to have a good game plan here and not to try and strike for too long, and just to even Amanda Nunes think about the takedowns, because that's where Ronda Rousey is the best. Like, she likes to strike, but like, let's be honest, like, it's armbar, like after hip tosses, or just forcing it to the ground in any way, and even ending up on bottom from there. Amanda Nunes definitely can stop them if she's been working on them enough and repetitions. But Ronda would, I hope Ronda has some kind of variations on it, that she realizes that I need something else here. That if my hip toss is not going to work like against Holly Holm, then I need something else to get it to the ground, or I need just a better game plan. And hopefully, now it's so many variables going into this fight, because Amanda Nunes is known to get tired as well, and Ronda looks usually in very good shape, but she's apparently in better shape now. It's a really tough one. There's a lot of variables going on, but I think Ronda will actually get the fight to the ground at some stage late in the first round, and probably. But Ronda could get like rear naked choked or something here. Yeah. Like, Liz Carmouche took her back and she had to bite her way out of it. Like, yeah, she's not. Well, she did.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's not this unstoppable force on the ground. It's more just the arm bars and the judo. But I think she actually will get it done. I don't know. I won't be betting on this fight. It's just too many variables.
I think Rousey, what her best attribute is that she just balls out. You know, she just goes for it 100 miles an hour at the very start. I think that is her best attribute. Like as we said, and we said it before the home fight on this podcast, her boxing isn't great, but she still has knockouts, and she has it because she throws hard, fast, early, and that's why she gets them. And she overwhelms people. If she doesn't do that, I don't see her winning this fight. I think that'll play right into Amanda Nunes' game. So she has to go out and she has to play her usual game. Now, Nunes, obviously, if you look at Nunes, you see her, she's kind of an attacking fighter, fights in the front foot a lot, but she does fight off the back foot a good bit as well. Even against Miesha Tate in a fight that didn't go that long, she landed some big shots off the back foot and then started to piece up Tate when she got a little bit hurt with jabs and off the front foot and stuff. But Nunes is a very, very intelligent fighter, and she's someone who I don't think will up the pace and get into Rousey's game unless she sees Rousey's hurt, unless she knows she can stop the takedown, unless she feels comfortable doing it. So, you know, I think this is a very, very tough fight for Ronda Rousey in that way. But at the same time, it only takes 1 second for Ronda Rousey to get that takedown and get the win. You know, even against Holly Holm, she was getting destroyed for the whole fight, but she could have won that fight in two separate occasions. You know, she had her down at one stage, she knocked her down at another stage. You know, and
if she hadn't eaten so many shots before she actually implemented that, she probably would have finished it there, I reckon.
Yeah.
Scrambled, I think, by the time it hit the ground and Holly was able to escape.
Yeah, like this feels very like the Holly Holm fight to me, and I picked. Even though my analysis, all I did was Holly Holm is going to dominate here. She's going to do everything well, but Ronda Rousey's going to get the finish. I feel the same here. I think Amanda Nunes is better everywhere. You know, I think even her jiu-jitsu is better, as you kind of alluded to there, although we don't see that much of it. Her striking is obviously better. She hits harder. You know, she's quicker, you know, but I think Ronda's obviously stronger than her, I think. And it's just that balls out, go for it, rip your arm off that she has. That's going to be the X factor, I think, and that's why I think she's going to get the win, unless she's just you know, a totally different fighter, or she can't do it or whatever.
Yeah, it seems the lasting memory of Ronda in people's mind is her getting destroyed by Holly Holm. But if you look at it like her other fights, and like the way she ran through Katzengano and Sarah McMahon, and like these aren't bad fighters at all. Like, you know, Katzengano has a win over Amanda Nunes, I believe.
She does, I think. She does. Look how Sarah McMahon. Look how good Sarah McMahon has been recently as well. Like, very good. I know Nunes. So like,
Ronda's so dangerous early as well. Like I know Amanda Nunes is a quick starter, but I'd say Ronda Rousey is the more dangerous fighter early.
Yeah,
that's why I will go with Ronda by first round armbar. But like, it's a tough one to pick. There's a lot of variables going on. Amanda Nunes has been in a big spot before. Like, you know, this isn't their first time. A lot of the time Ronda Rousey fought main events against contenders. That was their first time in a big show, and it was maybe might have got to them a little bit with Katzengano just running across and the octagon and getting armbarred. But I think Amanda Nunes has been there before, like UFC 200, and that will stand to her. But I'm still sticking with Ronda Rousey just a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Look, either way, I think it's going to be over in the first round. I'm picking Rousey via armbar, but I could see Amanda Nunes stopping her takedowns, hurting her on the feet, and either finishing her with strikes or knocking her down and rear naked choking her like she did to Miesha Tate. I think a first round submission is the most likely outcome in this fight. But you just never know. I think it's very intriguing to see how Ronda Rousey will actually fight. You know, if she fights her normal way, I think that's the best way of winning the fight. But you know, it's MMA, and you just never know. Look at Conor McGregor against Nate Diaz the second time. I don't think anyone predicted that he'd come out and fight the way, you know, he did in that fight, and things like that can happen
until they saw Diaz against, or they saw Villa against Lobov earlier on the night, and then it was like, oh shit, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I think it's a good fight though. I think this is a pretty good card, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. We'll talk about the other bantamweight title fight at the end of this, but we'll run through the rest of the card before we get to that quickly. I suppose the other big story from this card is Cain Velasquez falling out with an injury. I presume you could call it. Again, he's supposed to fight for Rousey Verdum. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, if you didn't hear, pulled Velasquez from the card because there was talks of him having back surgery afterwards. Now Velasquez got cleared by his doctor. On the same day he got pulled from the card. He put up videos of him kicking a bag, and doing mitts and stuff like that, and he looked in phenomenal shape. He looked like he was moving fine. It's a tough one to decipher what actually happened. Graham,
it's a strange decision by Kane to come out and admit this beforehand and say he's using medical marijuana and that he's scheduled for back surgery afterwards. It's like, well, he was only bringing trouble for himself, even saying that. It was just an ill-advised move. It's very strange move.
Yeah, but like,
if he wanted to stay in the fight, it's a very strange move. Maybe he thought this. Maybe he thought he couldn't fight. Like, back injuries are no joke. Like, you pull a muscle in your back, like you can barely fucking walk. You barely sit. Like, it's going to be very hard to train. Like the second I heard about that back injury, I put money on Verdum. Like, because he's a big underdog. He'd beaten him before. How much can you actually train? Like, look what happened last time when he wasn't fully trained because of the altitude, or wasn't fully ready because of the altitude. He got hammered, and now he's going in with a back injury. It's probably best he got pulled for him anyway. Like,
yeah, like, it's tough though with the Nevada Athletic Commission, because we've, and with all these commissions, like, we've seen things before. Look at Donald Cerrone; he got his face torn apart, and he was still allowed to fight. There's loads of people. Like,
that's a bunch of makeup.
Lots of people knew about McGregor was injured going into some of his fights. I think Front Row Brian had tweeted at the time. Yeah. Everyone knew it. Yeah, like, it happens all the time. People know people are injured going into fights. Even
you don't come out and admit it. I don't think you don't come out and say, oh, I've got this injury, I'm taking these, I got surgery scheduled for like the week after.
Yeah,
always going to be headlines, and it was, and then somebody from the commission picked up on it and pulled him. Like, it was a silly move if you wanted to stay in the fight.
I think the most shocking thing here,
if in between rounds they ask you, can you see? You say yeah. You don't say no. That's true. You know what's going to happen.
That is true.
Even if you can't see.
I think the most shocking thing here is the Nevada Athletic Commission actually doing their jobs. I didn't see that one coming at all. Like, I think that's something he didn't take into account.
Would you say if it was a bigger money fight, if it was Conor Diaz 3 or Cerrone Conor or Khabib?
Wouldn't have been pulled.
If it was Rousey Zingano, do you think they would have pulled it?
Not a fucking hope, I'd say. Not a hope in hell. We know how it works. Like, I was talking to, who was I talking to? I can't remember. I was talking to someone about McGregor Mayweather and Nevada. If it happened in Nevada, right? And they were saying to me, that'll never happen. Sure, I heard people talking that they won't sanction it. And I was like, are you fucking serious? They're not going to sanction that in Nevada. They didn't bring in millions.
They gave Dana White a boxing license for when he was meant to box Tito Ortiz about 10 years ago now.
Floyd Mayweather's running. Floyd Mayweather's running fucking backyard brawls in his own gym on tape. It's on YouTube. You can go and watch it now. And he went into the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and they clapped him out of the place. Like, thanks, Floyd. Thanks for coming in, gracing us with your presence. No ban, no nothing.
I think people are a little bit confused because Conor didn't get his Nevada license for boxing when he applied this time, when he got his California one. But it was only because he still owes the money. He's basically challenging the Pat Lumvall's decision to steal all his money, basically. Like, he's the reason behind him not getting his license was nothing to do with them not wanting that bout to happen. It was to do with trying to get him to pay his fine, in my opinion.
Exactly. Right. Let's get back to this card. We'll talk about the co-main event at the end. Obviously, TJ Dillashaw against John Lineker is probably the best fight in this card, with Velasquez and Verdum off it. How do you see that one going? Do you give Lineker any chance?
I'll give Lineker a chance, definitely. Yeah, he just has a way of dragging people into his game, but I think TJ is going to be too smart. Him and Dwayne are big game planning guys. They're big preparation guys. I think they're going to have a game plan of hitting and moving, and I think they're not going to get into the slugfest that Lineker obviously wants. And I think TJ will take over the fight as it goes on, and figure Lineker out and take the decision. But you never know with Lineker. He's very tough, like, and he has a way of just somehow luring people into his game.
He does, and he's improved so much over the last few fights at cutting off the cage, which is something he struggled with before.
Yeah.
Was it Ali Bagatinov he lost, or he struggled badly to do that? He's improved that, but TJ Dillashaw, he's a different beast. I think, but him and Dominic Cruz are by far the two best in the division, and I don't think anyone else is close, apart from maybe Tom Duckelman. But look, I think it's a good fight. Lineker, he's one of those guys only needs to land one shot. TJ Dillashaw has been knocked out with one shot before. So it's always a possibility, but I'd say if this fight doesn't end in a unanimous decision win for TJ Dillashaw, I'd be very, very shocked. He's footwork, striking, very, very good. Wrestling, I could see him adding in some wrestling in this fight as well. I think he's a big advantage there. I think he's a lot bigger than John Lineker. Well, maybe not a lot bigger, but I don't know. I think he's a little bit more athletic than John Lineker is. Lineker's, hands of stone. I think that's kind of body of stone as well. He's one of those guys who just flings hooks a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a good matchup for TJ Dillashaw. I actually think it's bad matchmaking, because I think John Lineker is a guy you could have given a title shot to, and would have been a fun title shot. But I don't think that's going to happen now.
Yeah. I think they probably want to line up either the TJ Dom rematch or the Garbrandt and TJ fight, because that would be like the kind of favorite one they were talking about, of former teammates, and there's a bit of bad blood there, and I think that they're kind of hoping that TJ will win probably, and sets it up nicely for the next Dominic Cruz or Cody Garbrandt fight for TJ.
A lot of people are giving out that TJ should have got the title shot now. For me, I think he probably deserved it, but it's by no means the most egregious one ever. I think Garbrandt is beaten. He's 10-0 now, beating Almeida and Mizugaki in his last two. I think after the Almeida fight, he put himself in the picture, and I think, as I say, I think Dillashaw probably did deserve it, but I don't think it's that bad. People are going insane about it. Just get on with it. You've one win since Dominic Cruz beat you. Two wins in a title shot. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think these rematches are being handed out a lot too quickly recently. But let's talk about some of the other fights on the card. Just on the undercard first, Alex Oliveira is taking on Tim Means. I like that fight. That's on Fight Pass.
Yeah, it's a very good fight. That's the first fight of the night, is it?
It is, yeah. I fancy Oliveira on that one. I think you can get to Tim Means a lot. Oliveira is one of those guys as well who he'd either turn up and be very good, yeah, or he'll be terrible and get destroyed. But I don't know. I have a feeling. I think he could turn up. There'd probably be a good Brazilian crowd there with Amanda Nunes and stuff. You got to have a few people cheering him on, and I think you never know. But Tim Means is a good fighter as well. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that should be a good one as well. Like, first fight of the night, that's very good. Like, these days, Fight Pass, you'd be lucky to know who both the guys are in the first fight of the night, really.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's good. It's good to go straight in there with a pick 'em fight between two known guys. Like, and
short card.
Yeah,
well.
I like the ones
like that.
Sorry,
it's a short card as well. 10 fights. That's great.
Yeah, it's like 10, 11 fights used to be the standard. Then it kind of crept up to about 13 or 14. Even it was a bit much.
Yeah.
Unless the card's stacked, then no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, this one isn't too bad now. Brandon Hatch is coming back as well. Antonio Carlos Jr. is fighting Marvin Vittori on the undercard. Mike Pyle against Alex Garcia. Alex Garcia is like the Hector Lombard lookalike from up in France, isn't he? Yeah, that should be a good fight as well. And Johnny Hendricks against Neil Magny. Who do you think? Who do you have in that Johnny Hendricks Neil Magny fight?
Oh, yeah, it's hard to know with Johnny Hendricks. He's in if he's having no problem making weight, I'd probably go with him. Barely, but if he's going to be killing himself to make weight, and he just looks like he's on the downward slope, Johnny Hendricks, and Neil Magny will beat everybody that he's better than, but he gets in trouble a lot, Neil Magny, and has to recover from it, and Johnny Hendricks can hit very hard.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I'd probably lean with Johnny Hendricks, but if I see him on the scale looking terrible, I'll be changing my pick.
I find it very hard to pick this one. I picked Magny based on the fact that Johnny Hendricks isn't really hitting anyone hard anymore. He hasn't done it in ages.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Shape though properly.
He was in good shape for that Wonderboy fight, but I suppose he was fighting Wonderboy in that fight
well,
as well.
Yeah.
But, It's one of those pick 'em fights. Whoever shows up in the night will probably win. I agree with your point about Neil Magny. He's a very good fighter and will beat everyone who's not as good as him, and he'll beat some people that are better than him as well. He's one of those guys, but he's beatable at the same time. I can see him kicking Hendricks to the body a lot. Hendricks pushing him against the fence, and Magny kind of getting maybe taken down a couple of times, but then hurting him with knees from the break and stuff like that, elbows and things. And it could be a good fight, or it could be an absolute stinker up against the cage for 3 rounds. But
yeah,
I've no idea how that's going to go. Just tune in, tune in and watch it. Right, Dong Hyun Kim is fighting Tarek Saffiedine as well, which should be a very, very good fight. I like the sound of that one. I know you're a big Dong Hyun Kim fan, aren't you? How'd you see that one go?
Well,
did I just make that up there?
Tarek Saffiedine, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Tarek Saffiedine, like he's a bit pitter patter. He doesn't really commit to anything too hard. I don't know. I have a feeling Dong Hyun Kim will win that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
He just hasn't looked the same as I think the last time I saw Tarek Saffiedine looking good was when he beat Tyron Woodley years ago. Like, that was Strikeforce. Or no, that was Nate Marquardt.
He kicked the legs off him, wasn't that one? I mean, that was the one where he absolutely destroyed him. That was if you want to watch a fight with good leg kicks, that's the best one ever. Tarek Saffiedine kick.
Sorry, I was mixing up two there. I was mixing in. It was a Tyron Woodley fight, but he didn't finish him. He won by decision, but it was. He looked very good. He looked very pinpoint and technical. But then sometimes he looked a bit trigger shy, and he looked a bit like he doesn't want to throw power into his shots because he doesn't want to get countered. I don't know. He's a tough one as well. There's a few inconsistent fighters on this one where when they turn up, they're really good, but they're known to not turn up. Yeah.
Saffiedine's one of those guys, and he fights a bit like a kickboxer who has another kickboxing match in 2 weeks' time. He just doesn't want to get injured.
He's like one of them guys in Thailand, and they have like an agreement that they're not going to injure each other so that they're able to fight every night.
Yeah, but sometimes he can just pull it out and he can absolutely destroy you. Like I think he needs a bit of the Ronda Rousey's, come out hard and quick. I don't know, maybe he has cardio issues or something from a long time ago that we don't know about or something, and that's why
he lacks that natural aggression though that a lot of fighters have, and he's more trying to score points, and he's not trying to score points, but just trying to land and get out, and it doesn't really matter how hard he lands. He's not looking for the finish. I think he's looking to score and move and score and move.
Yeah. Dong Hyun Kim as well, as we know, good takedowns, big fight finishing power as well. Could be,
throw some mad spinning back elbows and stuff like that.
Let me see who I picked. I picked Saffiedine, yeah. I had to look at my pick. I think Saffiedine will probably win a decision in that one. He's good takedown defense, and I don't really see him getting knocked out. So how's Kim going to win? Other than that, it'll probably be a Saffiedine decision, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd probably go for a Kim decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saffiedine just stays on the outside, leg kicks, jabs, the odd body shot or whatever, and just kind of adds up points. But if Dong Hyun Kim gets him down, I'd say it could be bad news for Tarek.
I'd bet you a $5. You take it.
Yeah, you already owe me a point, I think, from the Holloway Pettis one, so we can double down on that one if you want.
Right, no matter. Before we get
you'll end up on me a brewery.
Before we get to the co-main, Lewis Smolka against Ray Borg, the Taz-Mexican Devil.
It's actually another great fight. There's actually loads of great fights.
I love that fight.
Smolka, like his slow starts finally cost him in his last one, and it's hard to. Some fighters just have that kind of. They're not round one fighter. They kind of grow into the fight. But hopefully Smolka's been working on that. It's a really tough one to pick, like, because Ray Borg is good at Smolka striking is good, but it's not great. It's kind of his scrambles, but Ray Borg is very good at getting on top and staying on top. We lean Smolka just to scramble out and threaten with submissions, and maybe not get a submission, maybe go to a decision. But it's going to be he's probably going to be working from a round down, Smolka, if his previous fights are anything to go by. So it's going to be very close. It's going to be very close. I'll go Smolka though.
I pick Smolka as well, and if I was picking now, I'd probably pick Borg. It's one of those fights. Everyone knows how big a fan I am of Lewis Smolka. I think he's still the best person at flyweight who's never fought Demetrius Johnson. I really think he's that good. But styles make fights as well, and Ray Borg is, you know, he's one of those guys that he will get on top of you, but he's very hard to submit. You know, he moves all the time. He's good wrestling, good base, hits pretty hard for, you know, for his size. But when you're down there, and the reason I pick Smolka in my picks is he is such a tricky guy on the ground, you know, and to catch guys in submissions. And Borg likes to play that game, you know, where he's resting on top. And all Smolka has to do, you know, is catch a leg or catch a heel or, you know, catch a neck or something, and he will take it in 2 seconds. You know, you only have to give him one opportunity, and I think he could do it. But it really is a pick-em fight. I'm not sure, you know, and it's a good fight. Like, it's in that's a guaranteed barn burner. Really, really good fight. I think a lot of it will probably be played out on the ground. I'm looking forward to that one. But
yeah, and then the fight I'm looking forward to most has got to be Cody Garbrandt and Dom Cruz.
How would you see that one going?
I'll go with Dom just because he's a master of movement and defense and just landing and moving. But Garbrandt is very dangerous with big power and aggression, and he has that kind of fearlessness of an undefeated fighter. Although he has been knocked out at amateur, I think. When you're on like a 10, 11, 12 fight win streak, you forget about that. Like, you kind of, I'm a different fighter now. So he has that like unwavering confidence in himself. Even if he is getting like humiliated in the trash talk, it doesn't seem to bother him. It just kind of, whatever. He's just confident anyway. But Dominic Cruz, you know, he's only ever lost once, and that was Faber, and way before he was ready to fight Faber on short notice. I'd have to go with Dominic Cruz to win a decision here, but I think he'll mix up more takedowns than he usually would, Dominic Cruz, just to slow Cody down, his big power, and slow him down and make him wary. And I think that'll be around. Probably not though. I'd probably go 49-46 Cruz or 50-45 Cruz.
We basically have the exact same pick in this fight. Yeah, that's how I see it as well. Like, I think Cody Garbrandt can win this fight. I think the way he fights, he can win it. But I still don't think he will. Like, I think you're not going to out Dominic Cruz unless maybe you're TJ Dillashaw. And even he had to try it and he didn't do it. Now, I know that fight was close, and you know, I can't even remember how I scored it, but I think, you know, it was close either way. I don't think Cody Garbrandt has the skills to do that. I don't think that's his skill set. Now, I think the best way to beat Dominic Cruz, unless you're TJ Dillashaw, is to throw almost nothing. Don't go for any of his feints. Let him come onto you and just try to land a big shot and knock him out. I honestly think that's a big way, because he's the best way, because he's such a weird fighter, so unorthodox, so hard to hit. You know, and that's going to be hard. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying, you know, that's a smart way to go about it maybe. But I think if you want to win the fight, if you want an actual, you know, a chance of winning the fight, I think that's the way to do it. Like, if I was Cody Garbrandt, I'd tell him just keep his hands up, follow Dominic Cruz around the ring everywhere he goes, and wait for Dominic Cruz to lead, and then try to hit him. You know, maybe not do it the first 4 or 5 times, maybe do it the 6th time, and just try to land that, because he has the power, he has the speed, he's very, very precise, Cody Garbrandt is very good, and if he can land, he can finish Dominic Cruz. But I think he'd have to land. I think it's easy. It's not easy enough, but it's a lot easier to land on Dominic Cruz than to land clean on Dominic Cruz is very difficult. Yeah, that's true.
He's always moving away, back to the side. He's always like, it's very hard to just land a flush shot on Dominic Cruz. Like, he's been hit before and he's been dropped before, but they're kind of like glancing shots while he's making a kind of weird bump movement and with his footwork, and it's kind of off balance a little bit, it seems. But it's really hard to hit him clean. But if he does get hit clean, I think he will get finished.
The hardest thing against Dominic Cruz is when you hit like the 3-minute mark of the fight, and you've been trying to fight Dominic Cruz like Dominic Cruz fights, and you realize you can't hit him, and you kind of I remember I think it was Uriah Faber did it, where he kind of like wiped his gloves on his chest, and he's like, come on, I'm gonna hit him now, and then he tried, and now he can't hit him again, and you get demoralized. And that either makes you kind of like Faber was in the last fight, where, okay, Faber did well in the first round, but like the second and third round, he kind of like realized, oh, this is just not going to happen. This is not going to work. Or you just lose it and you go straight for Cruz and play into his game. Now, either way, whichever way, if you want to avoid those, you need great patience, and you need to have a proven way of fighting, like TJ Dillashaw. Like, you know, you can keep that up for 5 rounds, fight that way. Cody Garbrandt hasn't shown anything that he can do that. Now, maybe he can do that, and that's unfair to say that, you know, that he can't do it, because we've never really seen it. He's never been in a situation where he's had to do it. But I find it very tough to see him, you know, changing from a knockout artist, you know, a guy who likes to stand in the pocket, who likes to, you know, come kind of in and out in a more linear way than Dominic Cruz or TJ Dillashaw does it. I find it very hard to see him being able to beat Cruz that way.
And he doesn't have, Cody Garbrandt doesn't have that experience of getting frustrated in there. He's had a pretty smooth sailing, like, except for UFC 189 where he struggled against Enrique Briones. He didn't struggle, but he won the decision. But he looked a bit frustrated even then, even in that fight, because he couldn't get the knockout when he was it seemed like he was expecting to make a big statement and get the knockout. And if you look at his quality of competition compared to Dominic Cruz, it's just nowhere near. Like, you know, Thomas Almeida, that's a very good win there, very good to put him away in the first round. But besides that, it's not great. Like, Dominic Cruz has been fighting at the top level for nearly a decade now, like, or 8 years now. You know, he's got that experience. Everything hasn't always gone Dominic Cruz's way. He's had to like win close fights, like a TJ fight, the Faber fight the first time was close enough. Like, he's been in hard positions and he's come out on top. So I think that experience will stand to him. And as you're saying, I think Cody might get frustrated to get anywhere near Dominic Cruz early, and he might overextend, get taken down, and lose a lot of his pop.
Yeah, this is MMA though. You never know what's going to happen. You know, that one big shot could land.
Especially when somebody has massive power like Cody. For a bantamweight, he's got huge power. Bantamweights don't usually hit anywhere near as hard as Cody.
Yeah, that's the reason why we tune in, just to see, see fights like this. All good fights. Rousey, Nunes, good fight. Cruz, Garbrandt, Dillashaw, Lineker, Kim, Safin, Smolka. If you're in America, listen to this. Buy that pay-per-view. It's worth buying it. Give Ronda Rousey a couple of dollars there. She deserves it. But I suppose that's where we leave it for this week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back more than likely with a regular show next week. If we're not, we'll have something on this card anyway, and we'll break down what happened on Friday night. Remember, Friday night this fight is going to be. Before we go, please give us a follow on Twitter. I'm at Sean Sheehan BA, Graham's at SevereMMA. You can follow our good friends too over at rosnutrition.com. If you look up ROS, you'll find ROS Nutrition, you'll find our Twitter handle. You can get 25% off at the website rosnutrition.com with the promo code SevereMMA. Right. Thanks for everyone for listening. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.